I leave everything that I own to my adoring spouse. And if my adoring spouse passes away before I do, then I leave everything I own to my 2 children in equal 50-50 shares. That's simple enough when it's really just that's your plan and that's the goal, and we can achieve that part of the distribution of your estate pretty easily. But things get a little more complicated when you want to include a little something for the grandchildren, maybe a little something for that special person who was always helpful to the family, a token of your appreciation. I'm Patrick Cawley. I'm an estate planning and elder law attorney with Keystone Elder Law in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and I wanted to touch on this little issue that has really big implications for the distribution in your will or your trust in your estate plan, and that is, do you leave a specific amount of money to that special person or to the grandchildren or great-grandchildren, or do you leave percentages of your estate? The problem with leaving a specific amount is you don't know how much money you will have at the end of your life. Now, I'm sure you've done great retirement planning, you worked with a financial advisor, you have a plan to have plenty of money to live on and then plenty left over when you're gone. And if it works out that way, great. But with higher medical costs in older ages, with unforeseen property issues that could come up, you just never know. So you really don't want to leave $50,000 to 2 grandchildren and then everything else to your children if your goal is to leave a smaller amount to the grandchildren and really to take care of your children. Because what happens if your money runs out and that $50,000 bequest in your will to your grandchildren is really all of your estate? Well, if your goal was to just leave a small amount to the grandkids and most of your money to your children, you have not achieved that goal. That's not a good result. So using percentages is a way to reflect that goal of leaving a smaller amount, but certainly something to the grandchildren, but leaving a larger percentage to the children. Then no matter how much money you have at the end of your life, you've achieved that fair proportional amount. The only downside of using percentages that I can think of is that especially if there are children who don't get along with each other, or maybe there's a charitable organization in your estate plan, they're going to want to take a closer look at exactly what the accounting of your estate looks like so they can make sure they got the percentage that your will or your trust leaves for them. But if that's the only downside, I'd say go with percentages because it's a way to make sure that you leave whatever it is you have, and there's just no way to know, whatever you have at the end of your life in fair percentages proportionally to the people who you have in mind. If it is just maybe $1,000 or $5,000 to that special person who was always helpful to the family as a token of your appreciation, go ahead and leave a specific dollar amount because if you're pretty sure that you'll have substantially more assets than that, then it won't be a problem. But for the most part, I would say lean toward percentages just because you never know how much money will be left at the end of your life. If you found this helpful, please share the video with other people. If you have questions, send me an email, info@KeystoneElderLaw.com. My name is Patrick Cawley. I'd be happy to talk further about any of these issues with you.